I know you're right. I know you're right in what I'm about to say, but he can't possibly be on the hot seat. He can't. Matt Doherty treated people poorly. That's ultimately why he got fired after 3 seasons.
Sure it was. Sure. You can get past treating people badly if you win. He wasn't winning. We see this happen time and time and again in coaching circles. What?
Not treating anybody poorly.
I know.
He went to the final in his first year.
Cool.
You're saying there's at least a chance that he's not only in the hot seat, but he could be fired after year 3.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe that. I do not believe that.
It depends on how next year goes. Again, I want to preface this by saying I think it's ridiculous.
Okay, even if they go 8-20, if they go, which he didn't get fired after. He did not get fired after the 8-20 season, by the way.
Again, context matters.
But I'm just saying, if they go 8-20 next year, you're saying
it's a wrap.
He'll be fired.
Yes.
First of all, I don't think they're going 8-20.
They're not going to go 8-20.
That's number one.
Year,
but I do not see a scenario. I do not see a scenario where he loses his job after next year.
Look, I
do not see a scenario.
All I'm saying is,
because
if we recognize,
think about who wanted him to be the coach. All of the former players and the people, the Carolina families who wanted him to be the coach.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bubba Cunningham wasn't like, oh wow, I'm only doing this because you say so. He did it because what were the other alternatives?
Sure?
I am sure.
Okay.
So it would take someone super aggressive in that position, which Bubba's not super aggressive.
For all I know, Bubba might be broken.
He's not broken.
I mean, I don't know. I don't pretend to know Bubba Cunningham. I'm just saying that in the two biggest job openings, I don't think he's gotten the guy he's wanted to get. That he's essentially been told this is how it's going to be. Mac Brown was, hey, you want to buy out Larry Fedora? Well, we're bringing in Mac.
This is what we want.
This is the guy that we want.
Okay, I think that's
Mac
fair.
Brown.
But it also doesn't. It would also demonstrate my point. Like it would take a completely different personality to fire someone after their 3rd year when in the first year they went to the national championship game.
I mean, I think.
So you're saying?
I think you're overplaying.
I think like an NBA coach would get fired after 3 years.
I think you're over.
I don't think a Carolina or Duke coach would get fired after 3 years.
I think things have changed. Straight up. Things have changed, and if you and I both,
but a lot of things have changed about college basketball.
Yes, and if you and I both agree, this is what let's get to common ground here. You and I both agree that the standards around North Carolina are different than other places.
Yes, agree.
So if the standards are different or North Carolina, why are we acting as though there's going to be patience for things? Even though I sat here and I asked Hubert, I asked Bubba Cunningham the day they hired Hubert Davis, will you allow for patience for a guy who's never been a head coach before?
You did.
I mean, JV fine, but he's never been a head coach before, has not dealt with parents at the level he has to deal with parents now as a head coach, in a college environment that is in near flux all the time while dealing with a bunch of other factors. And what was Bubba's response to me? What did Bubba say? No.
He expected right away.
He expected right away.
That's where they were.
Yeah, after they caught fire for a month. So you keep focusing on 1 month versus a totality.
I'm focused on an accomplishment.
Cool. You do it.
I'm saying if that's a third of your career. I'm looking at Matt Doherty right now.
Yeah.
First year, not unsimilar, right? At one point, they were number 1 in the country. They tied for first in the ACC. Now, they didn't get to the championship game. They lost to Penn State. But he had a really good first year.
Yeah.
I believe he was even the national coach of the year.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
But Joe.
Second year, they go 8-20. The world is on fire. Did not get fired.
Dude, I get
Third
all
year,
that
he
stuff.
did get fired. The third year, he got fired.
That was 20 years ago.
Yes, it was.
20
the 02-03
freaking
season.
years ago.
But Roy was there.
And Roy was ready to come.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what are the circumstances that they would fire Hubert?
Well,
who would be waiting? Nate Oates?
The circumstances to me will just be based. The circumstances to me will be based on how the season goes. And I want to be abundantly clear before we move on to the next question. I am not advocating.
Okay, I'm saying I
Hubert
don't
Davis
see a scenario.
To be like, oh.
I am saying I do not see a scenario.
But I do.
Okay.
Because we recognize that at Carolina, things are different. This isn't state.
No, I understand.
Okay? This is not state where you're like, there's only so much money.
But what do we know about Carolina, though? What do we know about the Carolina family, though?
What is that?
How do they take care of their own?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
I think a lot of it is front-facing. We see what happens when somebody doesn't do the things that they like. We see that. Let's not act like everybody's a big, happy family. Every family has problems.
Yes.
Okay?
For sure.
So don't get too caught up in that.